Maybe when you're young, it's not a big problem, but as you're getting older and older, it does become very problematic because it's not going to just be 1 to 2 days. It's going to be 2 to 3 days, 3 to 4 days, 4 to 5 days, and before you know it, you're a whole week into it. Chronic constipation is like this. You have a lot of waste material trapped inside the colon, and it needs to exit out of the body. You need to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. Checking out my different things. Now, this is what people are experiencing now when their elimination is incomplete. Residues of old feces, they're building up in layers on the walls of the colon. As they putrefy, they can cause bunted health problems, pain, and discomfort. Now, many of you can probably relate to this photo. I was sitting on the toilet for a very long time. I was huffing and begging and pleading, pushing, trying to squeeze that waste material out to no avail. After all that work, I got veins popping on the side of my temples. You get a little pebble after all that work. And that's what many millions of people all over the world are struggling with right now. When we're dealing with chronic constipation, I want you to understand just what is your digestive system, because most people don't know. They never really study this. It's very foreign to them. They're looking at the symptoms of chronic constipation, but they don't really look at how is the system composed of. Now, we are the same categorically when it comes to the digestive system. Doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are, your political beliefs, your eye color, skin color, hair color, none of that stuff matters. We all have this pipework. Food enters your mouth, down the esophagus, into your stomach. Your digestive enzymes start to break down the food, and over time, food goes inside your small intestine right here, which is 4.5 meters, followed by the large intestines, fecal formation, another 1.5 meters, and out the back for elimination. This is a much easier picture to really capture the essence of the digestive system. This is just a simple illustration that helps simplify the whole digestive tract. Food enters your mouth, down the esophagus, into your stomach. Over here, digestive enzymes start to break down the food, and over time, food enters your small intestines next, the 4.5 meters, followed by the large intestine, another 1.5 meters in length, and out the back for elimination or defecation, or bowel movements, however you call it. What you ingest through your mouth must go out the back as waste elimination. This is a 1-to-1 ratio. Now, most people, what they're dealing with is chronic constipation. They're only getting a small little exit. For many years, I was wondering, where did it all go? Well, it's still somewhere trapped inside your body, in the small and large intestines. And this colon continues to dilate, and you may have hardened fecal matter on the outer lining of the intestinal walls, which may cause further inflammation. Today I'm going to just share with you real quick. So over here, this pipework is very long. Put into perspective, I always tell people, if you're playing basketball, from the floor to the basketball rim is 10 feet off the floor, okay? One of these guys is 10 feet off the floor. We're roughly 3 meters. When you're dealing with your digestive system, it's like having two of those on top of one another. So you have one NBA hoop, 10 feet, and you want to put another one on top. So that's 20 feet, roughly 6 meters total. This combined height is your small and large intestines length combined. Now, through years of eating, you got all this trash stuck in the small and large intestines, causing you a lot of discomfort, a lot of pain, a lot of misery. Now I'm going to show you a protocol that I've used over the past 5 years. Using all natural ingredients, I've taught this protocol to myself, my family members, and hundreds of people all around the world how to do this. You want to pay attention to my ingredients, the proportions, and also how I drink it. You may find other self-flush protocols online, but many people, they actually do fail with the self-flush protocol for whatever reason. This is the one I found to be the most effective. I can hand this recipe to a total stranger anywhere in the world. They can be very, very successful with it their first try. I failed a lot in the beginning of my detox journey, so I had to refine this and tune it just right for myself. And I'm very thankful this also works for anybody across the globe. Over here, you have your apple cider vinegar. You want to buy apple cider vinegar without any sugar added. Next, you're going to buy some type of citrus fruits. You can use limes, lemons, or grapefruit. I highly recommend using grapefruit. I think they're the best tasting. Over here, you're going to buy some pink salt. This is very, very fine grained pink salt. Or you can also buy food grade Epsom salt. Just going to go to Amazon real quick. I think I had it on my front page. I've been looking at it the last couple of days. So over here, this is the one I recommend. When you're looking for Epsom salt or magnesium sulfate, it's usually something you use for soaking, for relaxation. You want to make sure the Epsom salt that you buy is completely food grade. Now, there are a couple of items I also want you to get at the grocery store. You want to get yourself the set of ingredients, okay? And you guys can also just take a quick screenshot of this photo, which I will load up momentarily. Okay, so over here, you have your bottled water. This is 2 liters in volume. Over here, this is a metal mesh strainer. Over here, single press squeezer, using for your limes, lemons, or grapefruit. Get yourself some accurate measuring cups that say the amount of milliliters on them. That's important. Apple cider vinegar, pink salt. To get yourself a stainless steel thermos that has a volume over 1 liter. And also a stainless steel cup for your black coffee, which is prepared separately. If you do not want to drink black coffee, that's completely fine as well. This is very, very optional. Now I'm going to teach you how to mix all these ingredients in the stainless steel thermos, coffee prepared separately. These are the directions. The night before, you're finishing dinner around 7:30 p.m. You can still have some liquids. Do not eat any late night snacks. You can't eat any food after 7:30 p.m. Next morning, same thing. You can wake up. You can drink some water, okay? But you cannot eat any breakfast. I want you to keep your stomach completely empty. At 11 a.m. on your empty stomach, I want you to make this in the stainless steel thermos. I want you to add 1 tablespoon and 2 teaspoons of pink salt or food grade Epsom salt. Okay, so gonna add 1 tablespoon, which is 15 ml. Add another 2 teaspoons of pink salt. Each teaspoon is 5 ml, so you use 2 of them, so that's 10. Total, you have 25. It doesn't matter if you use pink salt or food grade Epsom salt. Some people, they may be worried about the sodium content of pink salt. But you can use magnesium sulfate because there's no sodium in magnesium sulfate. Next, you're going to cut and squeeze 3 lemons or limes or 1 grapefruit. I want you to filter it through the metal mesh strainer. Completely filter so there are no seeds or any pulp inside the solution. Next, going to add a 1/4 cup apple cider vinegar. This is about 60 ml. You can also pour it through the metal mesh strainer, because sometimes apple cider vinegar, they may have some sediments in the solution, and I don't want that either. I want the solution to be as smooth as possible. Next, you're adding 2.5 cups of hot water, roughly 600 ml. You want to stir it up 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Make sure it dissolves evenly in the stainless steel thermos. Next, you're going to add a cup of room temperature water and continue to stir. Kind of bring back down the temperature of the solution. Now, when you start doing this, it may be a little bit too hot, so do not drink this right away. What you want to do, you want to listen to some classical music, Rachmaninoff, however you do it. You are just being relaxed as you possibly can and letting you breathe through the nose, and you want to have that rhythmic diaphragm breathing. You can feel your stomach rising up and down. On the table, there are 3 items. You're going to have the bottled water, you get the stainless steel thermos with the soft flush solution, and black coffee, optional, prepared separately. Notice how all these items are in containers that you cannot break. It's not glass, it's not ceramic, it's not anything that you can break. When this is going to produce such a laxative effect, you may be running to the bathroom multiple times. In the process of doing so, you may be knocking things over. I do not want you to knock anything glass over. Then you're going to have all this liquids and glass shatter all over the floor, and now you are slip and fall. You might cut yourself on the glass, end up at the ER, but you still shin behind your back end. And the doctor is like, what the hell did you do to yourself? And you say that, well, I watched this video online. Please don't mention my name. Everything you do is your responsibility. And none of this professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. This is how you're going to drink the sulfur solution. A lot of people mess this up too. This is how I do it every single week. I've been doing this once a week for over 5 years now. And this is the pace. And this is the rhythm that I do. Over here, bottled water, I'm only taking a tiny sip of this water. A very, very tiny sip. Hold it in my mouth. And then I'm going to take a slightly bigger gulp of the sulfur solution, drink it down. Okay? And then I'm going to take a tiny sip of this black coffee to reward myself because it's a familiar taste. When you first start taking this sulfur solution, it may be very uncomfortable. So you can also buy yourself a stainless steel straw to help you drink it down, to help you avert this taste. That's just a small recommendation. Now try this. I've done this so many times, it doesn't bother me anymore. But for those of you who are beginners at this, you may have to have that process. So tiny sip of this water, hold it in my mouth, take a slightly bigger gulp of the sulfur solution, drinking it down, tiny sip of this black coffee. This is a tiny sip. This is a tiny sip. Your goal is to repeat this process over and over again. And the goal is to finish the sulfur solution first. It's going to be about 1 liter. You're not trying to push both the water and the sulfur solution down. That is incorrect. You need to put this thing down so they can begin to clean out both the small and large intestines. If you drink the water and the sulfur solution together, you're going to dilute down the solution. Incorrect. Do not do that. You want to put this thing down and just let it do its work. Okay, so they can begin to clean out the small and large intestines. Now, through this process, you can take 35 minutes, you can take 45 minutes, 1 hour, an hour and a half. It's not a race. Sometimes people, they read other people's testimonials, they get overly excited, they're really looking for a laxative effect because they haven't been using the bathroom for a very long time. They're going to rush through it. Well, what's going to happen is that they might have that throw up feel because you're drinking this for the first time. Your stomach doesn't even know what it is, so you could become very anxious. So it's not released through the pyloric sphincter. And you continue to drink the sulfur solution, it may back up on your esophagus, and now you may be throwing this thing up. Don't do that. If you have any of that feel like you're about to throw up, you want to set everything aside. Do not do anything. You just want to relax until those feelings subside. Okay, you may take your mind off this whole thing, watch some YouTube videos, do some deep breathing exercises, listen to some classical music. I listen to a lot of Rachmaninoff, Piano Concerto 2, Movement 2. That's kind of like my go-to when I'm doing this type of protocol. And it's really helped me to relax the stomach. Now, as you're more relaxed, this sulfur solution is going to work its way through the small intestine. Did you know that your small intestine has a surface area of a football field? It is massive. It is caked up with so much waste material inside of it. All the remnants of things you've eaten all over the years, I don't care if it's McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, all your Costco samples, all the frozen pizzas you've eaten, all the chitlin and collard greens, all the fried chicken from KFC, okay? All the microplastics that come from all the soft drinks that you drank all over the years. It's still in there somewhere. That's why people have so many digestive problems all over the years, because they're not able to eliminate this waste material that is currently sitting there in their digestive tract. And the surface area of your small intestines is large as a football field. Another reason why I do this protocol every single week, once a week, because you're not going to be able to clean out your digestive tract, which is one go. It don't work like that, no. So what you're going to experience after you drink the sulfur solution, you're going to relax. Everyone's a little bit different, and some people They may use the bathroom in about another 25 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. The more relaxed you are, the more you can take your mind off the whole situation, detach from the outcome, the faster it works. Okay, so you're going to get solids coming out of the back end, and this could be very hardened, very, very dark waste material that's trapped on the colon. When I first started doing this, it was coming out pitch dark, like charcoal, like the color of my t-shirt. Then it transitions over time into soft poop. It gets softer and softer. What you're going to notice is that it becomes softer and softer and softer over time. Then it's going to transition to really, really soft poop. All right? And then you're going to get torn brown water, lots of it. And it's going to smell disgusting. When that happens, I want you to continue to drink this water safely. You can chug it, but you want to chug it in a very safe way. You may take a few gulps of it, but you want to exhale the air through the nose. So you're not drinking down a whole bunch of water with air that's going to give you a bloated stomach. You're drinking this down, okay? Tilt your head back forward, release the air through the nose, and drink down the water without the excess air. What you're trying to do is, okay, now you clean out your digestive tract. Even the salt flush you drank earlier, it's already in the toilet. Everything is going out the back end. Everything is going out. And now you're adding more water pressure on top to further clean out the small and large intestines. You're taking this opportunity where this whole place is completely cleared out. And now you're just adding more water pressure to completely flush out both the small and large intestines. While you're on the toilet, I highly recommend you guys is to get yourself some type of a stool. You can get yourself a squatty potty or use an Amazon box. I don't care. Make sure it's sturdy, you don't hurt yourself. So your feet are slightly elevated through this process, giving you a squatting position. Human beings were designed to use the bathroom at a squatting position, not at a 90 degree. By sitting on this toilet at a 90 degree, that's what's been causing all the chronic constipation. In addition, you can also lift up the toilet seat. You do not need the toilet seat. When you're using the toilet seat, it actually squeezes in on your butt cheeks. Squeezing on your butt cheeks means that your anus is being constricted. Of course, a lot of waste material is going to have trouble exiting in that position. I'm going to spin through my social media to see if you guys have any questions. The benefit of y'all being on this call, you guys can ask me questions along the way. And that'll be very helpful for you because I wish I had somebody to talk to when I was going through this. I did not know how to do this. So over here. Okay. So over here, you can also join. Hey, if you're on this call, I just want you to add my social medias, okay? I'm on a lot of different platforms. You guys just look up The Real John Chow. Look up The Real John Chow on YouTube, on Twitter or X, on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, but over here, I'm also on Rumble. You guys can find me on Rumble. I'm also on Twitch, okay? And I'm also streaming on Kick, even though it doesn't always work. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. If you guys have any ideas, you guys reach out to me. The best way to reach me now is just use Instagram. If you're serious about transforming your health, if you're looking for a coach to restore your digestive health, to kind of help you navigate restoring your digestive health, just hit me up on the DM, okay? And kind of go back and forth, maybe jump on a Zoom call to see if I could be a good fit for you, kind of coach you through this. Now, I also want to go on and explain some other information that could be very helpful for you on your journey. We just talked about a protocol that you drink down, right? There are protocols out there that are enemas. Enemas, they actually put something behind the back end. Coffee enemas. Some of you may have heard of coffee enemas or Charlotte Gerson therapy. That's what they do there. Now, some people will do water enemas, colon hydrotherapy. I want to talk about this a little bit. I haven't done this myself, but I want you to know some of you may need to do this even before doing my protocol. Depends on how severe your situation is. Colon hydrotherapy is like this. You're sitting on this apparatus, and the colon hydrotherapist is putting in hot water through your back end to help escort out the waste material that is currently sitting there in your digestive tract. Okay? And some people that are so backed up, they may need to go every day for an entire week just to get that thing back to normal. You guys understand? Some people have that much waste material because this continues to build up and dilate over the years. Okay? Today I'm going to give you guys a lot of practical pessimism. Why do I know this is a huge market? I did a keyword analysis on chronic constipation or constipation in general. This keyword, the amount of people that are searching for constipation is undefeated. So many people all around the world are dealing with chronic constipation. This is recession proof. The stock market could crash, the real estate market could crash, whatever. But the number of people looking for constipation relief only goes up. Now, you might think that we're living in a very modern society now. We have so many different technologies, modern tech, modern medicine. How come we can't even fix this? Well, as you will learn through this presentation, many people, they're looking for solutions. They try so many different things. Still, they cannot find something that works for them long term. So I'm just sharing with y'all what's worked with me long term, okay? I still do this every single week, just once a week. It's kind of like you brush your teeth every single day, right? You shower regularly. Has anybody taught you how to clean out your digestive tract? Just to kind of clear everything out? Reset your system. You might be dealing with a whole bunch of symptoms left, right, and center, but once you start cleaning this out, all those different symptoms go away. Now, for those of y'all that you are pushing things off, you don't think this is a serious problem, let me just tell y'all, some people out there, they may be dealing with a toxic megacolon. Now, this is a life-threatening complication, inflammatory bowel diseases. They can be very painful. They are characterized by swelling, dilation, large intestines, due to the inflammation and accumulation of large amount of gas. You know, I'm not a medical doctor. I can just tell you this is more than just gas that's been accumulated. This is the waste material, the Taco Bells, the Chick-fil-A's, the McDonald's, the frozen pizzas, and all that waste material not going out. And the doctors, they may have to remove the whole colon because they identified it as completely diseased, completely inflamed, it's no longer functioning. They may remove the whole colon, or they may just remove a portion of the colon, and we're going to discuss about that too. Give you guys that healthy dose of practical pessimism. Over here, this is a left hemicolectomy. That's to say the descending portion of your colon is messed up. So the doctors, they remove this diseased portion. But what they do, they have a lot of plug and play in the medical industrial complex. They just join the remaining sections. Oftentimes they do that. Let's just say this disease portion was removed by the doctors. You can see over here, this colon, this one got so much trash sitting in here. Doctors say we can't save it. It's completely deadened, okay? We're going to remove this whole portion. Well, you may wonder, well, how does the poop go out now? Well, they install something called colostomy bag. They got a hole called the stoma in the abdominal wall, which allows the waste to leave the body. Colostomy bag attached to the stoma to collect the waste. You're going to have to manage this bag for the rest of your life. If you don't believe me, go to the ER. I don't care where you are in the world. There are many people in the world with a stoma bag, one of these colostomy bags. Another example, let's just say something went wrong with the ascending portion of your colon. Right? This is the part where it connects to your small intestines. This is your appendix. Let's just say this part was diseased, and they remove this whole portion. They're going to reconnect the small intestine or reattach it to the remaining part of this colon. Okay, so just attach from here to They got a whole bunch of surgeries for you if you don't fix chronic constipation. Now, let's just say the doctors completely remove your colon. What happens next? How do you get the waste material out of the body? They may do this procedure called the ileoanal anastomosis. Okay, they're going to use the remaining portion of your small intestine, because the small intestine is 4.5 meters, right, roughly 15 feet. They got all that pipework to work with, so they create a pouch. I think they call it a J pouch around the anus, which allows the waste material to leave the body. You can still expel the waste material normally through the anus, although you'll likely have several watery bowel movements daily. One of the functions of the colon is to extract the water content from the feces formation. Without that, all this waste material just flows right out. Okay? You may be on adult diapers for the rest of your life. So how's everyone doing so far? I'm going to take a small break. If you're on this call, welcome, welcome. You can also ask your questions. See somebody on my YouTube. Over here, somebody ignored their chronic constipation for so long, they have something called a displaced colon. Her colon is severely displaced. Now, a healthy, normal-looking colon should have this shape: ascending, transverse, and descending. This may have a slight tilt back to the upside before the descending portion of the colon. Looking at our displaced colon, you can see it's all over the map. It goes up, then it loops back down like a kink in the hose, then it loops back up again. Now, her colon is up in her chest area. She may have problem breathing or experience shortness of breath, because the colon is pushing up against her other organs. Then it finally makes its way back to the downside. Just imagine when she's standing upright, standing up, all this waste material has to fight against gravity just to get to this part of the colon before finally making its way back down. And this lady was only 23. 23. Now, some people may experience diverticulitis. This is inflammation in the colon, oftentimes in the descending portion of the colon. Now, doctors say this is called diverticula, or bulges or pouches that start to form in the GI tract. And this happens a lot over the people over the age of 50 and 60, right? And the doctors always say, well, this is you not eating enough fibers, putting a lot of pressure on the colon walls. And over here, what are some of the other signs? Other signs of this diverticulitis include nausea, vomiting, chills, cramps in the lower abdomen, constipation, diarrhea, rectal bleeding. Over here, ulcerative colitis. This is when you have inflammation in your colon. People with ulcerative colitis experience periods of symptom flare-ups, followed by periods of remission without symptoms. Different signs and symptoms include diarrhea, bloody stools, abdominal cramping, and weight loss. Now, when you're dealing with this, a lot of people may be prescribed with a lot of corticosteroids, immunosuppressant biologics. What these medications do, they suppress your immune system, so temporarily you're not experiencing the symptom flare-ups. But you have to ask yourself, did you really resolve the root of the problem? Now, this is me throwing some ideas out there for those of y'all taking a lot of antibiotics. You are destroying your microbiome. You need probiotics, which kind of gives you a protective layer over the outer lining of your small and large intestines. Without this protective layer, this is the reason why you may be getting this ulcerative surface, which is more inflammation, which is more pain and struggles all around. Some people may be experiencing Crohn's disease. This is inflammation not just in the large intestine, but also in the small intestine. Once again, what are the signs? Diarrhea, stomach aches or cramps, blood in the stool, tiredness or fatigue, and weight loss. Okay? If you're dealing with Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis, you can see that these different diseases, they have very similar symptoms. Okay? Over here, what else could happen if you're dealing with chronic constipation? You may be dealing with a rectal prolapse because many people, they are pushing on the toilet. They are trying to force things out. And as a result, they're putting a lot of pressure around the rectum. And some people, over time, that rectum area falls out. Okay, it could be very, very smelly because there's still remnants of that waste material now that's just coming back out. And if it's not treated properly, if it gets infected, right, you may be dealing with anal abscesses and fistulas, very problematic, or you may be dealing with anal fissures. A fissure is simply a breakage, a crack, a splitting, sitting on the toilet for a very long time, forcing things, trying to make things happen. Or you may be dealing with hemorrhoids. Even I was dealing with it at some point. In my 30s, I was going to the CVS, buying myself some Preparation H. Fuck that, yo. Thankfully, I don't deal with this stuff any longer. Now, when you're dealing with different rectal problems, colorectal problems, the doctors to tell you, well, several factors thought to be linked to rectal prolapse or anal fissures, or there's no clear-cut cause. An estimated 30% to 67% of patients with chronic constipation, infrequent stools, or severe straining, and an additional 15% diarrhea in the past. This condition was soon to be linked to giving birth multiple times of vaginal delivery. However, as many as 35% of patients with rectal prolapse never gave birth, and it can occur in men. There might be some genetic predisposition to this condition. In other words, some patients are more prone, based on their genes, to develop this condition while others don't. Listen, there are these people called proctologists, or they call them the bottom whisperer, okay? They get their latex gloves ready. They're ready to examine you. And they're going to offer you different procedures. Now, proctologists, they're specialized medical doctors. They can treat the whole entire gastrointestinal tract. But these guys, they primarily focus on the rectum and anus. They're going to examine you and they're going to say that, okay, you're dealing with some internal, external hemorrhoids. Also, you are prolapsing right now, or you're dealing with abscesses, or you're dealing with, these different anal fissures. We can patch them up. We're going to have different procedures to patch them up, get you straight, get you squared away. Well, the problem is that if you're still dealing with chronic constipation upstream, did you really solve the root of the problem? You're solving the problem that's down here. If you don't resolve this problem, you're going to go back and see the bottom whisperer because you're going to develop new anal prolapses, new fissures, new hemorrhoids. You guys understand? When you're solving problems, you always have to ask yourself, am I just treating the symptoms or am I taking care of the root cause? That's the mindset you gotta need to have. I don't care what problem you're trying to solve. Okay? Spin through my social media real quick, take a short break. And if you're on my YouTube, you can ask me questions. And give me a follow. Listen, if you guys are watching this, I know many of y'all are benefiting from these videos. And if you like my content, give me a follow, connect with you guys, and then there's so much more I could be sharing with y'all that can benefit on your journey to health recovery. And that's what we want. We're here to recover our health, right? So we have more control. And ask your question, please. All right. So over here, I want you guys to understand there's so many people all over the world dealing with chronic constipation. I want to go through some of them because many of y'all think, listen, we're very advanced and we can fix this with medications. Listen, there are entire Facebook pages, different forums online you can find all over. I don't care if it's Reddit. I don't care if it's like, people have tried so many things. Somebody says, what's the longest you've gone without poop? Somebody said, 4 weeks. What's hell? I was throwing up feces. Unblocked myself suppository eventually. This is an example of feculent vomiting. Okay, has anyone vomited fecal matter because it couldn't go down? What did you need to do about it? You need to go to the ER if that happens, really. So over here, there's some type of mechanical intestinal obstruction, right? Because as we learned before earlier, what is your digestive system? Your digestive system is a very long piece of pipework. Over here, some people are just so backed up in the colon area, they may be dealing with a toxin megacolon, right? If this waste material is not able to exit, what's it going to do? You're still eating, you still get hungry, so you keep on eating and eating and eating. And all this waste material is going to work its way backwards. It's going to fill up your small intestines and work its way back up through your stomach, and you're going to experience reverse peristalsis and throw up your own feces. Okay? Over here, I'm so tired of this. This morning I was driving, all of a sudden it hits me. I didn't make it to the bathroom, all over my shorts and car seat. I'm so incredibly exhausted from this. To the point where wearing adult diapers, there was a lot of mucus as normal. So this may be somebody that is dealing with some type of IBD, and they may be taking laxatives and they have no control, right? If she's not taking them, she has no, or he or she doesn't have any bowel movements. I mean, the problem is on and on and on. Okay, here's the thing. Somebody says, I've been reading around, and it seems to be that lenses ametiza motegrity, and most of those eventually stop working. Pay attention. Has anyone noticed that or have another idea? Can't believe what we're left to do to be comfortable. I'm so backed up. My stomach is very bloated. Looks and feel I'm 9 months pregnant. It's affecting my quality of life. Getting depressed. Try so many things, so not able to clean out. Over here, pay attention to this. I want you guys to probably screenshot this. I'm impacted. All home remedies, OTC, laxatives, enemas, dietary changes, additions, nutritional oils, quit working last month. All of a sudden, the ER can reach it, and their enemas didn't work. The highest dosage of lenses does nothing, and the Miralax colonoscopy prep's giving me overflow diarrhea. Small bits are coming off the impaction problem from this hospital enemas got Saturday. What else can I do? I feel like the impaction is just way too big to get out, and it seems like nothing is softening it enough. Hello, I've been struggling with severe chronic constipation for a couple of years now. It's only gotten worse over the last 6 months or so. I've been prescribed True Lance and lenses, highest doses for both. This is prescription strength. And neither of those medications are working very well for me at this point. I can pass a little bit of stool, but not so much. I'm constantly extremely backed up. I have to spend about half my waking hours lying down because I'm so bloated and nauseous, often in pain. Problems, guys. Okay? This is what you got to do. You got to see people have gone before you where they've been dealing with a severe chronic constipation for many, many years now, and they're still not getting any type of resolution. As far as OTC laxatives, nothing really works there. Either Ducalax, enemas, suppositories, magnesium citrate, nothing works. I was supposed to have colonoscopy today, but couldn't keep the bowel prep down. Procedure had been rescheduled for a month from now. One of the nurses at my GI office prescribed a pill-based cleanse. This pill is called Sutab. I was run ahead of time. Patients often have trouble completely emptying their bowels with this pill. So given my struggles, I'm doubtful that this will actually work for me. Here's my question. Has anyone here gotten to the point where nothing works? You see that? She said nothing works multiple times. Meds or OTC laxatives and had to have sort of in-office medical procedure done. I'm so sick and so miserable. What about professional colonics? I'm not even sure how those work. If anyone has any advice or experience with this, I'd be very grateful if you could share with me what you ended up doing, what the outcome was like. Thank you. Okay. For this person, this is what I recommend. Not professional medical advice, not just treatment. You need to go to a colonic center, colon hydrotherapy, possibly every single day for a whole week. Okay, you got to work with them. They're very, very experienced. Make sure you tell them exactly what you're dealing with. Make sure they don't put in the water pressure too quick, because right now the colon hydrotherapy is cleaning out the large intestines first. The large intestine right now, it is completely caked up. Okay, so this person's going through, but if they're putting in the water pressure too quick, you may get a perforation in your colon, and now you may go into sepsis shock and end up at the ER. There's always a risk if you perform any type of remedy. Okay, there's always a risk if you take medication. There are side effects. There is a risk if you use my self-flush protocol. So for that person coming back, they do this for a whole week. Then they're gonna try my self-flush protocol, so now they can clean out both the small and large intestines. Then this person's got to look into internal parasites and get those internal parasites out of the system, which I will discuss in a little bit, because this is something that most people overlook. Okay, so people are taking a whole bunch of laxatives. Eventually they stop working. What is causing this obstruction? It doesn't make any sense. What else could be there that is causing this crazy amount of obstruction? Right, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to spin through my social media real quick, see if you guys have any questions. Don't be shy. All right, so I want to bust through some internal parasites information for y'all. Internal parasites are very, very common. People don't look into it. They think that they don't exist because they live in a first world country, let me be Switzerland, okay, live in Germany, live in Sweden, live in the United States. I'm telling y'all, people are dealing with internal parasites. People can see them in their Whole Foods market salmon, in their Costco salmon. They're very, very common. You can visit different museums. They have a whole bunch of parasites on display. This is the one in Japan. They got 60,000 specimens, and about 100 of them that can attack the human body. Even the United States, they have a United States National Parasite Collection. Over here, they got about 100,000 specimens. And look into these guys, okay? So this guy is Eric Holberg, okay? And they are finding specimens, and this collection continues to grow over time. Today we're going to talk about full-blown organisms such as liver flukes, pinworms, tapeworms, and roundworms. Extremely common. Roundworms. Over here, this is the liver fluke. Liver fluke, learn about their life cycle. You guys got to study this out for yourself. Go pick up books on parasitology. Maybe you go talk to your local professor. There are professors out there, they study this field specifically. They hatch in water, and what they do, they work their way up the food chain. They will first attack a snail, maybe like an intermediary host, grow to a certain size. After they grow to a certain size, they exit, and they will land on some vegetation, maybe raw watercress. Well, this cow or the sheep that come over, they eat this watercress. Now, this liver fluke continues to survive. Talk to anybody in the ranching business, Idaho, Montana, Colorado, New Zealand, Australia, I don't care. They have to deal with every single year because their lifestyles are getting weak. They're losing hair. They have no appetite. Okay, getting sick all the time. Could be parasites, could be liver flukes. Now, when the liver flukes that get inside your body, they're going to attack your liver because your liver is a storage of vitamins and minerals. They're using this organ to survive and replicate inside of you. I want you guys to go on YouTube, just type in Animal Planet liver fluke. There's a great little documentary about somebody that was dealing with liver fluke for years. And she was constant in pain, a lot of discomfort. There was time she ended up at the ER. So the ER ran all these different tests, still could not find what was wrong with her. Isn't that frustrating? When you know you're in pain, okay, and they run these tests, and they tell you they can't find anything wrong with you, that's got to be the most frustrating thing. On top of all that, sometimes they may even gaslight you. Oh, they just tell you it's all in your head. Maybe you got to go see a psychologist. Maybe you got to deal with some childhood trauma, okay? Because most doctors, they do not look into parasites. And in fact, when they tell you to get a test to look for internal parasites, a lot of them may return false negative. You guys been talking about because it's such a huge money maker for them. Because if you don't deal with the root cause, of course you're going to be dealing with a whole bunch of persistent chronic issues from skin conditions, digestive problems, neurological. When people are looking at this Food Network, they might be wanting to try some of this Rick's steak tartare. This is the French version, Korean barbecue. Anytime you're eating raw, undercooked meats, you're at risk. Anytime you're eating intestinal products, chitlin, collard greens. We eat a lot of intestine products here in Asia. I don't do that stuff anymore, but I know many people do. Sushi, sashimi, maybe wasn't very popular 20 plus years ago, but now you have all this tech stuff on the West Coast, and there's a lot of Asian influence, right? A lot of seafood in San Francisco. People are eating this stuff up, and they don't do anything to take care of their internal parasites. Tapeworms are very common in beef, also in pork, also in fish. Okay, so tapeworms are very, very problematic because number one, they're hermaphrodites. Okay, so over here, this is the rostellum. This is the part that hooks onto your body. They suck the life force out of you in the small and large intestines. This is your anatomy. This is the head, and they have these suckers that gives them a very firm foothold on your digestive tract, so they're not going anywhere. Okay, so let's just say that this one beef tapeworm has 1,000 progotas. The progotas are their reproductive system, and each progota can hold 100,000 eggs. So if you just do the simple multiplication, this one tapeworm can have 100 million eggs. This person in Thailand pulled out a tapeworm that was 59 feet, or roughly 18 meters, out of their back end. You have all this extra waste material sitting there in your digestive tract, and you wonder why you're still having all these digestive problems, even with all the laxatives, and things are still not going out for you. Very problematic also with your pets. This cat got a tapeworm, and the owner is pulling it out of her. Even the cat is freaked out. This is the dog, American Bully. They're passing out a lot of roundworms. Over here, this is very likely a botfly, and you should study up the life cycle of a botfly. Some parasites, they're very, very powerful. They can even pass down through the next generation through the umbilical cord or just through the mother's milk. So you wonder why all these puppy rescues, they're also full of parasites. Their stomachs are bloated, and the vet's telling them, hey, you have to deworm this dog. Well, where did all those parasites come from? Well, they came from gestation period or just drinking the mother's milk, because the mother was full of parasites. So where are the risk factors? Risk factors are in your pets. When you're very, very close, you're taking these Instagram photos for social media. This is how you get into your kids. Now your kids are coming down with all these different conditions, whether if they're skin conditions, digestive problems. Okay, they may be grinding their teeth. They may be very, very restless. They can't sleep. And some kids are passing out loads and loads and loads of parasites. And after they pass them out, they begin talking. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, look into this for yourself. Don't just believe me. I'm sharing some I'm just another regular guy. Now over here, you may be traveling abroad, drinking a lot of contaminated water, doing your ayahuasca ceremonies in the middle of Amazon, eating your raw foods, even raw vegetations. Kids are very, very crazy. Sometimes they dare people to eat slugs, okay? They actually dare some young guy to eat a slug. So he did. Well, as I told you before, there may be parasites in slugs. This guy ended up in a wheelchair. Over here, parasites start to attack your different organs. This is called cysticercosis, or parasites that begin to attack other organs such as your brain. This is called neurocysticercosis. People are showing up at the hospital with epileptic seizures or headaches. This is the pinworm. Pinworms are very common in children, but also in adults. According to PubMed, they're affecting almost 1 billion people worldwide from all socioeconomic classes. This is the roundworm, very, very common in pets, in rabbits and ducks. According to PubMed, 800 million to 1.2 billion people worldwide, they got this. When it comes to your immune system, you got to study up on your immune system. You have different white blood cells: monocytes, eosinophils, basophils, neutrophils, lymphocytes. Now, the problem is that when you're taking corticosteroids or immunosuppressants, you're telling these guys don't go to work. White blood cells, they can identify parasites and they can get rid of them very, very wonderfully. Unfortunately, many people are taking corticosteroids. If they take corticosteroids, you're providing an environment, parasites go, oh, there's no police here. I'm going to continue to survive and replicate inside of you. Here's another picture. This is not Animal Planet. They did not pull these roundworms out of an animal. This came out of a human colon. They found that this guy had way too many roundworms. They had to do surgery. Another reason why some people may have very, very bloated stomachs. They can't have a bowel movement, even on top of all the laxatives, whether they're OTC or their precision strength, the highest dosage, because if you have this many roundworms inside of you, the poop is going to have a hard time traveling through the digestive tract. Now, I recommend you guys to learn how to first clean out the small and large intestines comprehensively. You may use a combination of colon hydrotherapy on top of using a salt flush protocol taught by me, however you do it. Now, you're going to have to do this a couple more times to make sure this whole pipe works completely clean, because if you jump into a protocol that cleans out and eliminates your internal parasites too soon, that may not be good for you. I want to share some different herbs out there that could be very helpful in your parasite elimination. This is clove bud, okay? This is wormwood. Over here, this is medbesidol. This is OTC, very common. Over here, this is medbesidol. Over here in Asia, black walnut wormwood combination tincture form. For your pets, look into Panicure C. For your cats, work with your vets, right? Maybe looking at Frontline Advocate. This is more prescription strength. Anti-parasites albendazole. Over here, there are many different products online. You got to work with your doctor, integrated medicine, your naturopathic doctors, even different GI doctors that have experience with dealing with internal parasites. Cleaning out the small and large intestines first, okay? Combination of colon hydrotherapy or with the salt flush protocol, and over time you have the confidence of, hey, if you were to take different anti-parasite medications, you're going to have a lot of dead parasites sitting inside of you. That's why you need to have a go-to, have some type of protocol in. After you take the anti-parasite medications, you can flush out the dead carcasses, you can flush out the dead parasites. That's what we're talking about. A lot of y'all very new to this whole concept of detox. Now, for most of your life, you've probably been talking about supplementation. There's always something missing. They tell you that the reason why your body is messed up is because you don't have this one vitamin, you're missing this mineral. So your cabinet is full of supplements and you still can't resolve your problems, right? Have you looked into internal parasites? You got to look into them, and you can't just take my word for them. You need to study it out for yourself. Take about 2 months, 2 to 3 months, and you can just say, hey, I want to study one parasite at a time. Take you about 2 days, right? And within 2 months, you're going to learn 30 different new parasites. Some of them, they're full-blown organisms, like we talked about today with the tapeworms, the roundworms, liver flukes. Now, some of them are even more problematic. Some of them are single-cell protozoans. For example, malaria. Malaria is a form of parasite, but they are very, very small. They're single-cell protozoans, and there are different ways to get rid of those guys as well. So recognizing that there isn't just the one single thing that you can take to get rid of all the different parasites in your body. That's why I recommend some people, you need to rotate through different parasite products, make sure you're knocking them out. On top of that, you're doing your preventative care, which is, hey, I'm not going to keep on eating all this trash foods. I'm going to stop eating intestinal products. I'm going to stop eating a whole bunch of raw foods or undercooked meats or things I know I should not be eating anyway. What you should be eating is healthy foods. Foods that actually come from nature. They don't come in a box. They're not frozen. They're not just a bunch of processed junk. Okay? And learn how to prepare. There are many videos online. You can do it. You can do it. And you must do it. Okay? Because I show you today that the road ahead is very, very tough. There's so many liabilities concerns. There's so many practical pessimisms that you need to understand and evaluate. Because most people, they ignore until their body is completely broken down. They're at the hospital, completely overweight, and they got multiple organ failures. And most people, they tell them, hey, it's your fault because you are not dieting and exercising. Well, there's more than that. All right, it's a lot more than that. Are you eliminating the waste material sitting in your body right now? Many of y'all have a couple pounds of waste material trapped inside your small and large intestines right now. Get rid of that first. Then you may have to take a couple of months getting rid of internal parasites. Some people say, oh, I'm going to just do it one time. Nope, not going to get it done. Not going to get it done. Many of these different meds or herbal blends, they only target the adult larvae. You guys understand? So they're constantly hatching new parasites into your body, right? So that's why it's a constant battle, where it's going to take about 2 to 3 months targeting different parasites and flushing them out one at a time. And maybe if you're persistent enough with it, then you can recover your health, okay? Because they will take over. They love to thrive in a dirty environment, kind of like cockroaches and ants, okay? They love a dirty environment full of encrusted feces, unresolved chronic constipation. That's how they survive and thrive. If you're able to clean this clean and do the self-flush protocol on a regular basis, then you're going to flush out a lot of parasites in the process as well while they're small. Because most people, they wait until it's too late, until they've already all grown up. So these roundworms, they can grow to about 1 foot or slightly longer than a foot, okay? And tapeworms, like I explained before, they can grow up to 60 feet. It's very problematic. So I'll spin through my social media. Do you guys have any questions for me? So I'm going to introduce myself a little bit before I close out on this presentation. So over here, my name is John, okay? And for years, I had chronic constipation, and I was going to the gym diligently, going with the programs, workout coaches. I had all these programs, and I was still not losing weight. And over time, I learned how to clean out my small and large intestines comprehensively. I really recovered my health. This is me before in Southern California, and I was not able to lose weight. And now, this is me all year round, without doing any of that bulking, without that cutting, okay? I don't even go to the gym anymore, because once you learn how to clean yourself on the inside, really renew yourself, renew your cells, renew your digestive tract, your body slims down. It's really miraculous. When you guys consider getting my program, or even work with me one-on-one, if you want to work with me one-on-one, what you got to do is just send me a message on my Instagram, and I can get on a call with you to see if we're a right fit for each other. Because I had to resolve and figure this all out by myself, but I've explained this to very great detail, right? So even if you don't have my help, personally, people are doing these protocols. This was my explanations online, free videos online. Look at Nate over here, did your protocol last night. Holy crap, it's not prepared for what came out. You told me so much. It's just purchase program to support you. Thank you and blessings to you. So show me some love. If you are watching my videos and you're getting great results with it, get my program. Okay, it's all in the descriptions below, and there are many different things that you can get. Okay, so there are many other testimonials people have shared with me. A lot of them are also in Chinese because I teach this here in Taiwan. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people here in Taiwan how to do this, so they can clean out their digestive tract. And some people, they have shared this with their family members. I'm very grateful for people such as Colton to share a testimonial using their in videos. I appreciate, because most people, they don't like to share this type of stuff, right? So I'm very grateful for people that are able to have the courage to share their testimonial with me. But I highly recommend you guys either work with me one-on-one, or just get my program, and that's going to show you how to get this all done. And I also recommend you guys, after you do my protocol, you want to load yourself back up with electrolytes. Coconut water, okay? So you're going to drink coconut water, or you're going to get some watermelons. That's going to be very helpful for you to rebuild up your electrolytes. And in the future, if you guys are interested, I have so many other information that will be very helpful. For example, I know how to clean out the liver. The liver may be full of intrahepatic stones or even gallstones in the gallbladder. I'm telling y'all, this organ's got to get cleaned out. A lot of people don't know they may have gallstones inside their gallbladder right now, and these gallstones, they can pass through the common bile duct into the small intestine. And there are protocols out there that can do it. But many of y'all, you just keep on ignoring this whole situation, and now your gallbladder is completely enlarged. You may be having gallbladder attacks. And the doctors, when they see you with this situation, they just remove it completely. There are many risk factors along ahead if we don't fix them early. I just assume I can improve the quality of my kidneys right now, even though I may not have any problems with kidneys now. I'm just saying, hey, why don't I just improve my kidneys now, even before I have any problems? And that's what I've been doing the last couple of months. It's about 2 months since I've been doing this detox for my kidneys, and I've already found it to be very, very helpful. Okay? So I want you guys just to keep a very, very open mind, continue to spend time a lot in different books on detox, on natural health, things that you can do to improve the quality of your life, even before you have any problems. Even before, if you have any slight problems, slight symptoms, you have to look at it as a very serious problem. You got to resolve it right away. You cannot let it sit. Today we talked a lot about chronic constipation. We went over human physiology, right? What is the digestive system. We talked about the sulfurous protocol, how you can clean out the small and large intestines, but also colon hydrotherapy, how the colon hydrotherapist can help clean out your large intestine. Talked about internal parasites, how they are a threat to your overall health because it's going to cause additional obstruction in your digestive system. Talked about probiotics. You guys want to use a little bit of probiotics after you do my protocol, and you want to take electrolytes, coconut water, and watermelons, okay? And eat something soft. Do not rush back into your junk food. You can eat oatmeal. You can eat oatmeal after oatmeal. You can eat papaya. Eat something very, very easy. And do not eat fast. If you eat too fast after your protocol, you may throw up. So I just want to thank all of y'all for jumping on this call. You know, if you have any other questions, just reach out to me on my social media. Have an amazing rest of your day, and look forward to connecting with you on my social media.